All right, harvest 2023 is about to kick off. I went over and checked those first 2 bean fields that I got planted that actually came up and did their thing on time, and they might actually be a touch too dry. There's still a little bit of green in the stems, but the beans are plenty ready. So the fun part is Mom and Dad went on vacation this week, and naturally Shelly worked second shift, so and apparently Grandma and Grandpa are not home because they didn't answer the phone. But luckily I got a landlord who lives around the corner that helps me out every once in a while, so he can give me a ride if we're successful as far as being able to run, which we should be. So I'm gonna get the combine dug out and get over to the field. And cut around and check the moisture, and if they're good, which they, like I say, they should be, they're cracking good. Cut a spot to park the truck, and then he's gonna come get me so I can come back here and grab my pickup to go get the grain truck, because I'm gonna need my pickup with Mom and Dad so I can get home tonight. All hooked up, should be ready to go. Combines was full of fuel when I brought it over here. Everything's been gone over, so all I gotta do is grab my moisture tester, and I'm gonna throw some tools together and we'll head that way. All right, so as you can see, the stems are still a little green, but the pods are dry and the beans are dry. And there's like a 20-25 feet right over there against the woods where they're still a little doughy, but they're dry enough out here that what we can do is play the game. Got chunks of beans stuck in my teeth. We can play the game, make a couple rounds on this side, come up, make a pass along the woods, make a couple rounds around this side, come back, make a pass along the woods, and blend them in. And by the time you blend them through the combine, put them in the grain tank, take them out of the grain tank, dump them in the truck, everything will be blended off and they'll never even know they were in there. So, but they've almost got to get cut because the ones out on the open ground are dry enough that, like I say, they're damn near too dry. I got wheat sprouting on the grain pan. Never even paid attention to that. Honestly, never even thought about the fact that it got rained on while I was working on it. But it should clean itself out once we get rolling. Slow my fan down because I think it's still sped up. I think. Yeah, that's probably about right. I might have slowed it down while I was test running it. Okay, sibs are set. Fan should be good. Well, sibs are roughed in. Fan should be good. Concave roughed in. I think we're good. Things I forgot the clean out door was open on the grain tank. Whoops. Don't mind a little trail of beans here. But man, is that head cut nice. That was worth every penny. I can tell you that in the first 50 feet. Now we're thrashing everything out. Other than my little mess up trail here, I don't see anything coming out the back. And get some more in the tank and we'll see how things look. Alright, not too bad of a pile for one down and back on 4 acres. Probably give her a touch more fan, but other than that, it ain't doing too bad. right. I'll get the truck over there and hopefully we won't have any issues. If I can get that field done today, it'll be nice. And then hopefully the one across the street will go tomorrow on Leary because that one's got more shade. But tomorrow is supposed to be our last day of 80-degree weather. We're supposed to have 10 to 20 mile an hour winds. But it is supposed to be partly and mostly cloudy. So we'll just have to see. Some unshelled pods coming back through the return, so don't really see too many green ones, which that's the goal. Out a little bit. first impressions after the first 4 acres, that new cutter bar was worth every single penny and every bit of work. That thing shaves like a razor. And basically all I got to do now is set the head down on the counterbalance springs, and the counterbalance springs and the float of the cutter bar take care of the rest. I barely got to touch the header control. That's probably the least stress or most stress-free bean cutting I've done in the last, or since I started running that head. And there's a fair old few bit of beans in here. I forgot I was going to bring a shovel to clean up my pile of shame and throw it up through the combine, and I forgot a shovel, so hopefully I remember tomorrow. But there's at least 200 bushel here. Them beans had to have been north of 50 bushel. We'll find out tomorrow. And you don't see very many of those guys in there, so that's good. There was a definite color difference between the dry ones and the ones that were still a little doughy though. But anyhow, I guess we could, just so that I know how I need to plan for tomorrow, we can mosey across the street real quick. That way I know if I just need to haul those in and plan on moving the combine home, or if we're gonna cut some more. It's supposed to cloud up tomorrow night, and we got chances of rain Thursday, and we got chances of rain. Tomorrow is Wednesday, right? I'm all off. Yeah, today's Tuesday, tomorrow will be Wednesday. We got chances of rain Thursday, we got chances of rain Saturday. These beans probably won't do quite as good just because of that weed issue I had right off the bat, but you never know, they might surprise you. And that one's cracked. I think these are gonna go. The other nice thing, last year, for the guys that were around last year, I kept having issues with that thing cracking beans. There's hardly any splits in this load. And the thing I noticed this year compared to last year, and it makes sense because this year we had adequate amounts of rain while beans were trying to fill pods out. But last year we had little BB beans, and this year we got nice big fat marbles. So the bigger beans don't grind as much going through the machine. Well, this open part for sure will run, so I'm going to check the two small spots, and I'll get back with you. All right. Well, the piece back in the wood, or the two pieces back in the woods, aren't going to go there. They're way too, like, they're green, like still got leaves on them green. So I would just leave the whole thing and come back and get it, but they're having a party this weekend and they want to have a little parking space, so I told them I'd get this front little piece knocked off while I got the combine over here, might as well. So, but I'll put that on a separate load so I can keep track for yield monitoring purposes. So anyhow, I'm gonna run the grain truck home and get it put back in the barn, and grab the dog, or go home and grab the dogs and my leaf blower, and come blow the combine off and call it a night. So we will catch you guys tomorrow to cut a few more acres. contract them, but it depends on what the moisture comes back at. They should be good. I mean, as long as the moisture's decent, then I ain't worried about it. They were testing 11 and a half, 12, so. Yeah, we've only had her a couple months. Yeah, she's in here. Sweet. Thank you. They came back at 12-1, so I did a good job of blending. Figured they'd be a little bit drier than that, because you get over in that field you got over where the sun was on it all day, but it was probably wet enough over by the woods, and them long rows made up for more beans. So either way, 12-1 worked perfect. So I gotta get these dumped, probably stop to put fuel in the truck, go back to my house, drop the dogs off, head back to the field, and we'll start cutting across the road. Alright. So I'm changing my plan a little bit. Originally I was just going to take the front 3 acres off of this, and there's a little 1/4 acre piece and an acre piece back in the woods I was going to leave and come back, because they're still kind of green. I was thinking about, it's like, I don't want to come back for 1 acre and 1/4, and the stuff back in the woods will not run. It's like there's not enough dry beans to blend off 1 acre of that many wet beans. So what I'm going to do is, there is enough dry beans to, do the whole big piece in that little 1/4 acre chunk, and part back in the woods didn't come up for shit, and the beans are short, and there's not that many of them. So I'm just going to take the 4 acres off here. And leave those beans out back in the woods, and Brandon can just hunt over them, because they ain't worth coming back to get. but there's also a lot of dry mixed in there, so it'll even out. I still got plenty left to cut, so shouldn't be a problem. We're out of all the bad stuff. Everything that's left is plenty dry. Grandpa just brought me back to get the grain truck. Sorry I didn't get any more video of cutting. Right after I left you guys last, Brandon's boy Braxton came out and wanted to ride, and he rode with me for the rest of the field, so I had my hands full with him. Tell you what, it's fun watching a toddler. I guess he's probably above toddler stage right now. He's a toddler to me. He's, you know, yay tall. It's fun watching him because he's sitting on my lap, and his eyes are glued to that header watching everything go in, and then when I go to do something with the levers or something, his eyes are glued to my hand watching me run the levers and stuff, and he was just taking it all in. He didn't fall asleep this time like he did when I was chisel plowing. He was completely enamored. But hopefully I didn't get too bold cutting that back little piece off. But the front field I tested when I got done, and the front tested 11.6, so hopefully it all evens out, and hopefully I did a good enough job of blending. I could probably almost bump my cylinder speed up one more notch, but when you're running with sprockets, not a variable speed cylinder, it's a little hard. Oh man, I got some free beef sticks out of the deal because Brandon's stepdad walked up and said, "Here, you need these more than I do." So anyhow, I'm going to run this bad boy home and get it in the barn. I might as well wait to end this video until I haul it in tomorrow, but everybody knows how it turns out. Fingers crossed. It could be a wet one, it could be a dry one, it could go either way. So anyhow, we'll catch you guys tomorrow afternoon. Alright, I got that second load of beans hauled in. We'll talk about that here in a second. It went well. Nothing major to talk about, but I do, since I hauled a couple loads, want to rattle these lug bolts. Good. I like these new tires. This thing drives like a completely different truck. And I think it's actually a combination of the radials and the fact that the rear tires are balanced now, because before, the 10120s, they were never balanced. I honestly never even thought about having them balanced. But I think the balancing makes a huge difference on that. And it drives like a dream. Like that was a good investment. Just the fact that they're safer, because you don't got to worry about the tire delaminating and shredding itself going down the road loaded, and it just, everything about them is better. So I really can't wait to get some steers put on it this winter and be done with it. But anyway, I'm gonna go put that away, and then we'll talk about my tickets here, and that'll be the end of it for today. Okay, I'll try to make this quick and concise. Just some quick rundowns on the statistics. The first field we cut on Tuesday, that field went 48.9 bushel an acre. Not that bad for blow sand. Graded number 1. Test weight was really good at 57.4. Moisture was 12.1. And nothing else much of note there. And the field we cut yesterday, Wednesday, that field ran 40.9 bushel an acre, which that one took the hit from that weed issue that I had right off the bat. So the fact that it did that good actually impresses me. The beans that were there branched very, very well. So I'll take that. Test weight was a little lower, 54.1. Also a lot probably because of the weed control, and that ground is also a lot sandier than even the one across the road. It's a lot lighter in color, spots that are almost white. So that field is also got a soil type. It would actually probably benefit a lot from manure if I had a source for it. Moisture was 14.2, which that really surprises me, because there was literally two back by the woods in the corner. There was 2 passes that I made where I was literally cutting green beans with leaves on them. I was like, well, I ain't coming back for them. We can blend these things out. So 14.2, I'll take that. 14.2 and off the field is better than 14.2 and getting rained on, because we had 1 3/4 inches of rain today, and it's not done coming yet. And it did have 3% splits, so, which I didn't really see any in the combine, so I guess I don't know where those came from, but still graded number 1. And basically on that field, I got a copy of the dock schedule while I was down at the elevator. So this is corn. On those beans, 14.2, so that's a 4.5% deduction off of contract price, which I don't know what beans are at yet today because I haven't sent the email out yet. But they were 12.08. They were 12.08 spot yesterday, and at 12.08, when I did the math, if I remember right, it came out to 5 cents a bushel. So not a super huge deal. Like I say, 14.2 and cut is better than still standing in the field getting rained on. So I will take it. And honestly, I thought that above 14 they started hitting you for shrinkage, but apparently they don't start hitting you for shrinkage until above 15. So I didn't even get hit for shrinkage on that, which was nice. So anyhow, not too much to complain about for the first couple days. Hopefully, I'd like to see some numbers starting to get above 50, but as late as the beans came up, and with the screwy weather we had, I think mid-40s are going to kind of be the norm. But hopefully we see some good test weight, since we did have enough rain during pod fill and finishing everything out. So hopefully a test weight stays up, because I'll take decent test weight over. I will take a okay yield and a good test weight over shit yield and no test weight any day. So, but I think that's all I needed to cover. I was looking at their dock schedule for corn moisture, and it's not as bad as it has been in years past. Up to 25%, they're only at 5 cents a bushel drying charge. So I don't know. So I did test some ears off of this field like last Friday, Saturday, sometime. I can't remember exactly what day. And they did test 25%. I guarantee you there's stuff out there that's wetter than that. But basically, because of the way the weather was this year, we have a serious case of uneven maturity. You can have, well, you can see how brown everything is here, and I don't know how well you can see it. Right there on that hillside, and right there on that hillside, there's 2 green spots yet, because those spots came up 3-4 weeks after all this low ground came up. And it's not just, it's the corn, it's the beans, it's everything. This is the weirdest fall driving around. I mean, I guess green soybeans aren't out of the norm, because there's guys that'll put double crops on top of wheat stubble. But this time of year, to still be seeing first crop bean, or spring crop beans that are still as green as this grass, and corn that is still as green as this grass, and you can have, especially in the beans, you can have spots that are dry, ready to pick, to green as this grass, all in the same field. And there's a lot of guys around here that started cutting beans this week. There's big spots out in the field they just went around because it was still too wet. Didn't make a whole lot of sense for me to do that, because I wasn't going to go back for a 20-foot pass on a 4-acre field. So we just blended them out. But you start getting 5-10 acre patches in a field that are still green. It's not going to be a fun fall. It's not going to be a productive fall. It's going to kind of be a long, drawn out struggle, especially with the weather taking a turn after today. We've basically eat our last haw as far as decent drying temperatures, and basically the 15 day shows nothing. Lots of upper 50s, low 60s during the day, lots of cloudy days, lots of rain days. It's kind of what I expected, and hopefully everything's subject to change, but I just had a really bad feeling that we were going to be in for a wet fall, which, as late as everything got started, because it sat in the ground until it got rain, is exactly the kind of fall we didn't need, because now it's going to be struggling to get everything dry. At least dry enough to haul in. So anyhow, that's what I got for you. So at least we're on the board. We got started. 9 acres off is better than nothing at all. So I guess that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.